If you're tired of hopping on sales calls, constantly answering the same old objections every single time, and trying to educate the prospects on the call with exactly what you do, it means your marketing isn't strong enough. It's like going on a first date and you immediately start talking about marriage. I get it, you might think it's a perfect fit, but if they don't know you and you actually haven't built up any sort of rapport or relationship with them, it's going to be weird. And it's the same with sales. Don't ask somebody to buy unless they're already sold. Marketing's job is to make sales easy. So in this video, I want to share with you the exact content funnel I use for myself and all of my clients. So by the end of the video, you're going to have a step-by-step roadmap so that your leads are already pre-sold before hopping on a call with you, eliminating any of these high-pressure sales tactics and saving you time by not answering the same old objections every single time. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Okay, if this sounds like you, I need you to watch to the end because it's going to completely change your approach to content marketing. If you're posting content, putting in the hours, showing up consistently, but it feels like it's going nowhere, the truth is you just don't have the right strategy. It's not that content doesn't work or you need to buy a new camera or you need some lighting or some other external thing. It's simply about installing the right funnel so that your marketing can attract, educate, and nurture and build trust so that when they show up on the sales call, they're already sold. For most of you, this is how your funnel is probably looking like right now. Prospects find your account and drops you a follow. Maybe they start watching some reels and stories, starting to understand who you are, and then you're just sitting there hoping that they're gonna buy from you. This is probably the reason why you're struggling to book calls consistently, or even when you go on the calls, you're going to consistently face objections and they don't even understand who you are and what you do. It's because there's no strategy or system that actually makes people slowly go down your funnel, understanding exactly who you are, what you do, trust you, so that when they hop on the call, they're already sold. So you're probably wondering, how do we actually do that? So in order to do that, they need to answer this question for themselves. Out of all your competitors and the different solutions out there, do they actually believe in yours? If you don't get them to this point where they actually believe in your process and your solution, you're gonna have all these challenges on the sales calls, trying to overcome all these objections or educating them when that should have been done in the first place so that they should know that they wanna move forward. Think about it, if you go into a shop like Louis Vuitton or Gucci or something like that, people aren't going up to the counter and then being surprised with, oh, like why does that cost so much? And then, what is it made out of? And why is this so expensive compared to this? You already know exactly who they are and who they're serving. This is what we need to build as a personal brand. So when they come into the store, they already know who you are and what you offer. So this is the end goal of them believing in our process and our solution. So how do we get there? They have to feel understood. But this is what you have to ask yourself. Do they feel like you fully understand their situations, their problems, and their feelings? If they don't feel like you actually understand where they're coming from and you're just trying to sell them, they're not going to buy from you. And they're gonna have this block within themselves, not ready to move forward. Especially with the world out here where everyone's trying to sell you something, if you can actually make them feel like you understand them, you can empathize and understand their problems and their feelings, they're going to be so much more likely to actually buy from you than someone else who doesn't really fully understand them. I like to use this example to make it very clear. Imagine you're on a deserted island and two people approach you offering advice on how to survive. One person is your best friend who's always had your back, while the other person is claiming to be an expert survivalist. Even if the stranger actually has all the information and they actually know everything it takes to survive, you're probably still going to lean with your best friend, only because of that level of trust. It's this natural innate thing within us where trust is going to override uncertainty. Going with our friend is still going to make us feel a little more safer and we feel like they're probably a bit more reliable. It's the same in sales. People buy from who they actually trust, not necessarily from who knows the most. I genuinely wish I would have learned this lesson a lot more sooner. I would have understood that even though I really want to help someone, I needed a different approach on how to actually serve my clients. Okay, so this is the content leverage funnel and I'm going to show you how it works exactly like building a friendship. So we're going to start right at the top with short form content. It's essential for capturing attention and just simply driving awareness. These quick, impactful videos help potential customers discover you and gain a basic understanding of your expertise or your product offering. I want you to think of these as serving as your small talk stage when you first meet someone, or the opening line that makes them stop and say, I want to get to know them more. I want you to think when you're out and at a party, the first thing that you're going to do when you first meet someone is have that small talk. That is exactly what short form content is. It's your time to make an impression on them in the shortest amount of time to see if there's potential with you guys vibing together and if you can take it to the next stage where you start talking a little bit more deeper. I'm sure that some of you probably know this, but even learning how to do small talk and being able to master how to connect with someone in a short time is a skill that we need to master within short form content. How can we present ourselves in under 60 seconds that makes people a little bit more intrigued to get to know us at a deeper level? The whole goal of short form content is simply just to capture attention and create first impressions. This is not meant to sell or do anything else. It's essentially the first step of our funnel. And these are platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. The next step in the funnel is long form content. This is crucial for building deeper connections and building trust with your audience by showcasing your values, your philosophy, and the mechanisms behind how you help people move from point A to point B. Unlike short form content, this format allows you to dive into more detailed explanations and share meaningful insights, positioning your brand as an authority. So what I want you to think of long form content is, it's essentially to serve as long form conversations and connect over shared values, like a late night D&M. If you guys don't know what D&M is, it's essentially deep and meaningfuls. That's what we used to use back in the day, where you share things that you wouldn't normally and create a genuine connection. Again, think about you at the party. You might have had some small talk with some people now, but there's only a few people that you're like, hey, let's go sit on the couch and actually talk a little bit more, because you found them a little bit more interesting that you actually want to get to know them. This is what long form content or YouTube content is. It's actually allowing you to have the space and the time to connect where it feels a bit more one-on-one, allowing you to actually get deeper and talk about all these personal things like families, career, hobbies. So in the content world, our long form content is specifically meant to answer any of the objections that's going to be on the calls, making them feel understood before they even get to the call. We have to truly understand the person that we're talking to, understanding their pain points, their desires, their needs, their wants. Once we fully understand our target avatar, we're able to create content that's going to answer all of these questions. Like, you're constantly spending time with them talking about all these things that they value and all these things that they feel that they're trying to overcome. Like I mentioned, the whole point of long form content is to build trust by showing your expertise, understanding their situations and their problems. And the platforms would be YouTube. You can also consider Twitter and LinkedIn if you're doing more longer form copy. The next step of the funnel is your broadcast channel. This offers a more intimate way to connect with your audience by sharing exclusive and nuanced insights that aren't available to the public. This approach makes your audience feel like insiders, receiving special access and personalized updates. It's a powerful method for deepening engagement, creating a sense of exclusivity, and nurturing stronger relationships with your most invested followers. So the way I want you to think of this is, your broadcast channels are like exchanging your phone numbers, a private and direct way to stay connected and build a more personal relationship. Following the party analogy, now that you've actually spent time with a person and you've talked and you've had some good conversations and you want to stay connected, but you have to leave the party, the next thing you're going to do is ask for their phone number. This is your broadcast channel. It is the same thing as your email list. The one thing I want you to note is, when you send a message or an email, it feels very personal because it's like as if I'm sending it directly to you. But in fact, you could send a text message to 20 people or an email to hundreds of people. But the whole point is, you're developing a more personal relationship where you're going to share things that you might not necessarily show to every single person on the outside. The whole point of the broadcast channel is simply just to create intimacy and exclusivity. The platforms you can use is like the Instagram broadcast channel or your email list, or even your SMS list. I just put that in there. From there, the next part of the funnel is a community or member. Essentially, at this stage of the funnel, the relationship becomes personalized through group sessions or one-on-one coaching or whatever service or product that you actually provide, but you're now providing tailored guidance to help them achieve their goals. This deep interaction fosters progress, builds commitment, and creates a loyal member who values your expertise and support. So this stage is essentially becoming friends, when they actually join your circle by purchasing from you and becoming part of your ecosystem. If you start messaging people again and again, eventually you're going to start hanging out together. And that's when you start solidifying the relationship as a friend. And this is why people talk about the email list being so powerful, because it's the last step of personalization before they enter your ecosystem. Once you get there and they're in your ecosystem, they're essentially now your friends, and you just have to deliver the best service that you can so you can actually be valuable to them and continue to stay friends. Because I'm sure that you know those friends that say that they want to do all this stuff, but then they never really do it, and they kind of flake on you and it doesn't really work out. That's the same as bad service or bad fulfillment. And the reason why this is so important is because we're going to move into the next step. So just before we move on, the whole point of this is to strengthen their sense of belonging by delivering tailored guidance and support through your program or service. This could be from your website, school, WAP, whatever way that you're serving your customers. And the last stage of the funnel is partner. At the partner stage, clients become collaborators, transitioning into trusted partners who share your vision and contribute to your growth. They work closely with your team, enhancing their skills while shaping your community or your business. Their success stories and testimonials further amplify the impact, creating a mutually beneficial partnership. So the way I think of partner is a best friend that actually just wants to help you grow and supports your vision. And sometimes they might play an active role in actually contributing to your business or community. So there's a few ways I like to think of partner. They either can be your customer success manager, where they've come in your system, they've come into your community, they've learned from you, and now if they align with your vision, they actually could help grow that community with you. Or if it's not that, it might just be a testimonial, or they might refer you to other people, just like a best friend who would tell other people about you, trying to put you on because they want to see you win and succeed. So whether they work with you closely or a testimonial, the whole point of this is to deliver a really good product or service so they inform everyone else as a trusted person who's been through your program or service what it's like to work with you and if you're going to be the right fit for them. All right, so to break down everything that we talked about with our content leverage funnel, essentially we want to work it like building a friendship, with each interaction strengthening trust and connection, nurturing leads consistently through delivering high value content that's going to build trust, especially in the long form and the broadcast channel. So by then, they're already pre-sold through that seamless journey that feels very natural and authentic. Just like how you make friends, you don't overthink that process. This is just scratching the surface of the whole funnel. By installing this content leverage funnel, you're actually building a system that's going to work for you over time. Especially with content living forever, you're not physically spending the time with them, and that's why this is so valuable. It's because you're building the trust and the friendships with you just putting the work upfront when you create the content. And look, I know we're just scratching the surface, and I know it's easier said than done. But if you're serious about growing your personal brand and you want me to actually come into your business to install this exact system, allowing you to create content that's going to consistently work for you, building all these relationships, nurturing them within this ecosystem, and then converting them into paying clients. So just click the link below, let's hop on a call and see how we can work together. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much. I'd really appreciate it if you can give us a like. And if you want more content like this, consider subscribing. But if not, thank you. Peace.